Link TV, connecting you to the world. Link TV is viewer supported. Watch more at linktv.org.
Two countries, two disasters, two levels of accountability. Bhopal and BP. Next on Global Pulse. How media worldwide are covering the oil spill and the Bhopal anniversary. An American coming to terms with the BP oil spill may not realize how lucky the US is to be so rich and powerful. It is the 25th anniversary of the toxic gas explosion in Bhopal, India, as reported by Al Jazeera, TV5, and the BBC.
December the 3rd, 1984, in Bhopal, India. Methyl isocyanate was leaking from the Union Carbide factory, an American-owned pesticides plant. The city was about to become the site of the world's worst industrial disaster.
The hospital mortuary can't cope with the dead bodies. Many are lined up outside waiting.
The death toll from the gas tragedy of Bhopal in the central state of Madhya Pradesh continues to rise relentlessly.
The parents who come to the Chingari Day Centre ingested the gas and survived, but their children were born mentally and physically impaired.
Chemicals have been leaking for 25 years, contaminating the water and the ground. In this slum next to the factory, the inhabitants poison themselves slowly.
A rusting and forlorn symbol of what big companies from the rich world can get away with when they do business among the world's poor.
But when big companies work in rich countries, there can also be accidents, like this one.
The Deepwater Horizon rig has sunk into the ocean and
a day-long search for 11 workers.
This thick goop of brown oil, and it's moving.
Another flock of birds covered in oil as thick as pancake batter.
Americans are angry, but as ABC and Fox News reported, the US has the power to make BP pay.
If our laws were broken, leading to this death and destruction, my solemn pledge is that we will bring those responsible to justice.
BP will contribute $20 billion to an independent escrow account.
$20 billion so far. A hotline for oiled birds. 24-hour tar ball removal. Compare this to Bhopal, with over 28,000 dead and 1.5 million disabled. $2,500 for a death in the family, and $575 each for those who were disabled. And for Bhopal, justice is late in coming.
Former Indian executives at the old Union Carbide factory have been found guilty of death by negligence more than 25 years after a toxic gas leaked from the facility.
Inside the court, the verdict is finally delivered. All 7 accused were found guilty of negligence. Most of them former executives in charge of the Union Carbide plant in Bhopal.
Well, hours after the verdicts were handed down, the 7 executives have now been freed from prison after they posted a bail of around $500.
The executives were sentenced to 2 years in jail, but there is the one who got away, the CEO of Union Carbide.
The company's American boss, Warren Anderson, flew into Bhopal within days and found himself under arrest. The police chief at the wheel of the car was Swaraj Puri.
You've arrested Mr. Anderson, the world chairman.
Yes, we have. Well, there is an anger in the city about not being able to get him back to justice.
Almost immediately, Warren Anderson was granted bail and allowed to fly home to the United States. Activists from Greenpeace managed to film him 7 years ago. Now 88, he lives in retirement in this house in the affluent Hamptons area of New York State.
Americans may have forgotten Bhopal, but in India, the runaway executive is still big news, as this story from Times Now illustrates.
We return to Warren Anderson's home for the 3rd time, this time in the evening hours. Just as last time, Lillian Anderson answered the door. She didn't give us much of a chance to speak, saying that she had told us earlier that Warren was unwell and that we should stay off her property.
Times Now will continue to track the Andersons till we get our answers.
Is executive accountability any different in a rich country than a poor one? Go to linktv.org/globalpulse and tell us what you think. For Global Pulse, I'm Kaya Lee.
Link TV is the only U.S. network dedicated to global and national news, uncompromising documentaries, and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world. To learn more, visit linktv.org.